Hi guys, and welcome into the next episode of the Gibson Show, and today I am joined by none other than the two-time major winning IGL for W7M FelipoX. Felipe, how you doing?
I'm good, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
And yeah,
we've been trying to get this going now, I think, before the major, so it's good to finally
yeah.
get the time to sit down. So, I suppose first off, congratulations on winning
Thank you,
back-to-back majors. How does it feel?
man. It feels amazing. Like I said in other interviews, like it's surreal. Like I never thought I could do that. Like in the first year of the team, it's such a success. That we had, winning back-to-back majors. It's just unbelievable. Yeah.
And when you think about it, right, you've done something that not a lot of people have done, right? And I think statistically, if you guys win the upcoming six Invitational, it technically on points means that this W7M team would be better than G2, the team that everybody calls the big dynasty. So I'm going to ask the question on everybody's mind straight off the bat, right? How do you feel as a player when W7M are getting compared to G2 now? Does it feel like there's pressure to that, or does it feel like that's more of a target? You want to achieve more than that, greatest roster of all time, as some people would say, achieved?
I think there's no pressure to us. I think we use that as a fuel. We are very ambitious, and we know what we can achieve. So when we hear a comparison like that, it flatters us. We feel very happy with that, and I think we just want more to win more, and yeah.
And I think as a Brazilian, and I know you're a proud Brazilian, as most Brazilians are, I think when it comes to community, you guys do it like nobody else when it comes to passion. I think there's a drive there too, right, for the Brazilian community to say that we had the best team of all time.
Yeah, I've been talking about myself. I've been playing this game since its launch, so for 8 years now. So I've dedicated my life to this game. 1/3 of my life I've been playing this game. So I mean, it's just amazing to be able to do this and to maybe be the best team of all time, and to be compared to legends such as Pengo, Fabian. That's just amazing. And talking about Brazil, we have a very passionate community, like you said. So it's an honor to represent them and to maybe be the best team of all time and to be a Brazilian team. Yeah.
Well, I know there's a lot of people out there that would love to see W7M go ahead and achieve that. And I'm sure there's a lot of G2 fans out there who don't, because they're going to want to keep that on their side as well. But let's put all that talk to the side for the moment. And I want to talk about how you got into competitive Siege then. So you've said you've been playing the game since launch. And a week or two ago, we just celebrated the 8th birthday of the game. I know a lot of people have got a lot of nostalgia seeing the old intro pop on the timeline again. But obviously, when you started in this game, there wasn't a competitive scene. It didn't become a competitive shooter for a couple of years after you got into it. But what was it like for you growing up playing in the game? Like, did you know very early on that you were really good at the game? Or did something change after a couple of years that really wanted to make you focus and get into the competitive scene?
Yeah, when I first started playing the game, I was just a kid that was playing games with my friends. I was playing BO3 at the time in PS4, and then my friend, someone said there's a new game called Rainbow Six Siege. It's very good. Let's try it out. And I just loved the game the first sight. And of course, at first, I didn't even think about becoming pro and nothing like that. But then at the same time, it was 2016. We had the best Brazilian team in esports. That was the Luminosity and SK in CS:GO, and they inspired a lot of Brazilian players in different games, in Valorant, in Rainbow Six. And when I saw that, I knew that was my dream, like to become an esports player, a professional player. So they inspired me, and I started seeing that I was good at the game. Like in the PS4, I won a lot of tournaments, like amateur tournaments in PS4. And then I changed it. I switched to PC. I bought a PC in 2017, and then I started grinding to achieve my dream, to become a professional.
And obviously you're an IGL, so there's a lot of pressure on IGLs. Was that something that you were naturally good at a few years ago before you got into competitive? Like, did you find yourself calling the shots with your friends, or were you, like most players, just mechanically a lot better than everybody else, and then you picked up those skills on the way?
Yeah, I was always very active in the communication side of things, and tactic-wise too. Like I always liked that part of Siege, the tactical part of Siege, but I was not that. I was never that kind of figure, like the leader figure. Like I was always very shy and stuff like that. So in the MiBR, I was the second caller. I was not the IGL, but I was very active in the communication. So when I switched to W7M, I was not the IGL at first. It was a Hertz. But then after the first stage of BR6, we saw that maybe I could do that, and to like keep that pressure off the shoulders of Hertz, because he's the entry, and he should focus more on his aim and stuff. So yeah, I went to IGL and it went good.
Yeah. So moving into your competitive career then, so you started way back, I think 2017, 2018 was when you started to get your hands into the competitive scene a little bit. What was it like back then? Because this was before Brazil had the massive boom as well. You know, there was a lot of questions about the LATAM region and what they could achieve. And then obviously in the last 3.5 years, the region has just taken off. But in those early days of you getting to experience competitive play, what was it like?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so in the early days, when you first got into competitive, what was it like? Because Brazil was a very differently run region back then, and for you as yourself getting your first taste of proper competitive play as well, how was it as an experience?
So my first year was very hard because I started off in the final of 2019, and then 2020 the pandemic hits. So we were all year in our houses. We didn't have the majors, international majors. So it was very hard for my first year. We were very good. We were a very good team in Team 1 at the time. We went first in the 2 stages of the 2020 BR6, but we didn't play internationally, so we couldn't gain the experience and stuff like that. So yeah, the first year was very hard.
And your family, right? So you're getting into competitive esports, and I think it's still in a world where parents are like, our kid wants to be a professional gamer. They should be going to college. They should be doing this. They should be doing that. What was it like for you, getting into professional esports? Were your parents really supportive at first, or did it take a little bit of time for them to understand what it was?
Yeah, at first it was very hard. Like I think that's for everyone. But like I said, in 2016, I put in my mind that I want to be pro. And since that time, I started talking to my family and like showing them championships, tournaments, like showing the prize pool, because the parents, like when the money comes in, they know it's for real. So I started showing them like since 2016. And then when in 2019 I received an offer to go to São Paulo to start playing the BR6, they already knew that was my dream, and that was possible. So it was kind of easy. They were supportive at first, like there's not like our other parents. Like they helped me a lot.
And did you find it difficult moving to Sao Paulo at the start? Because you're leaving your family, you're going to live with teammates, and it kind of causes you to grow up very quickly. Was that difficult for you making that move?
It was very difficult because I'm from a very small town here in Brazil, and I had a lot of friends there. Like my whole life was there, like my family, my friends. And coming to São Paulo, such a big city, at the age of 18, it's very hard. But it was good. It was difficult, but it was good for me to grow up, like to become an adult. And yeah.
Yeah. And was there anybody that was really important to you at that time for getting you settled in Sao Paulo and, getting you ready to be who you are today?
Yeah, I think what was really good, it's the team I joined, Team 1. I was really good friends with them since PS4. So we were kind of a family there. and then the pandemic hit, and then we were the whole year together in São Paulo, like stuck in the house, and we created a really good bond there. Like we are friends to this day. Like maybe for all our lives we are going to be friends. Like.
And this is the thing, right? When you live with people, even if they're your best friends, there's going to be, from time to time, there'll be arguments, there'll be little fallouts. And I think when you're all working in the same game too, it can be even easier to maybe have little fallouts because a mistake could happen in a game and you want to talk that through. Was there any moments, particularly during COVID, when you couldn't go and explore, where you were like, this is really, really hard?
Yeah, like I said, in the pandemic, we were in our best shape, like as a team. We were just getting first, and like in our first, for me and Reps, it was our first competitive year. So it was like the honeymoon period, I think.
Yeah.
Like we were just being happy and like just playing the game, like young gunners, and just enjoying. Like it was very good.
Yeah. And then after a little while, right, you got an opportunity to join MiBR. So how did that move come around for you? And was it a difficult decision to make to join that roster at the time?
Yeah, so the MiBR offer came to us for our whole team. But the difficult part was that we had to leave Vivas behind. Like Vivas, I don't know if you know him, like the assistant coach for M80. And we had to leave him behind. He was our analyst at the time in Team 1. But MiBR already had an analyst that was Gili. So we had to leave him behind. That was the toughest decision at the time. But like the offer was much better, like for us. So we accepted, and it was very good.
So in your time with MiBR, then you started to get a little bit of success. You know, you went to the 6th Invitational and you came 3rd. Was there any regrets about that in that tournament? Because a lot of people were probably looking at MiBR and thinking, you know, you guys had a chance to go ahead and win that whole event. So looking back to that Invitational, what were the feelings?
Yeah, starting the tournament, no one knew us. Like we were a big surprise in the tournament, and we just kept growing the tournament, and like growing and like destroying everyone. So we were very happy with that. But I think we could get a little bit further than we got, because we were in the winner finals against NIP, the champions, and the last map was a 7-7. Like for one round, we could be like in the finals with a map advantage. So yeah, for a long time it was traumatizing for us.
Yeah. And then obviously the very next year you found yourself back at another 6 Invitational, 4th place this time around. And I think even though you didn't quite get to the final again, there was growth there. People could see you were improving inside of the game. People were starting to get on the wave of, wow, Brazil really is a really good region in Siege. What was the mind? Was there more disappointment at the 2nd Invitational, or was the first one where you came 3rd more disappointing?
No, I think we were more disappointed in the first one, because the second one we're kind of proving ourselves, because after the first Invitational, I had a injury in my shoulder, so I had to go through a surgery, and we lost kind of like the second half of the year, like as a whole. We couldn't qualify to the major. We couldn't do anything. Like Bodega had to play in my place, and Bodega is really bad at the game, playing the game. So it was very hard for us. It was very hard for me specifically, because I couldn't do anything. Like I had my arm like this, like immobilized, and just watching the team like doing nothing. Like we couldn't qualify to anything, so it was very hard. And then we like the Invitational 2022 was like a proving point for us, and we proved this. Like coming 4th was very good. Was a very good result, and so we were very happy with that.
Yeah, I want to talk about the shoulder, right? So in any sport, whether it's a team sport on you know, grass surfaces, whether it's in a fighting sport, whether it's esports, there's obviously an element of rehabilitation and kind of getting the shoulder, you know, getting everything back to the way it was. Was it hard for you to get back to that level after injuring the shoulder and being out for so long, or was it just a case of when you have it, you don't lose it?
Yeah, so I was like a month off playing, like exactly a month. I tried to play. I actually played 2 games of the BR6 with a controller. Like I had my arm like this, and then I played like this with the controller in my hand. But when I came back after playing the game with mouse and keyboard, I was actually better. Like I had my best season after that, because I think I was so eager to play the game. Like I wanted to play the game so bad, and like I was watching a lot of VODs, and I was watching the game and like playing the controller. And then when I came back, like I was a monster. Like I was destroying everyone. Like I think I wanted to play so much then that I became better.
You probably watched more Siege than normal as well, because when you can't play, you just kind of want to live that experience even more.
Yeah.
So, you and we have crossed paths before, and this is the next event I want to talk about. So I don't know if you remember, but we have bumped into each other in Riyadh back in 2022, whenever I was working my first ever event in Gamers 8, and you, of course, were competing. What were the thoughts?
I remember.
Yeah, what were the thoughts going into that event as a player? Because there was a lot of questions from the community about the event. People didn't know what it was going to be like. You know, talent members didn't go. I suppose for you, was it exciting to travel out there, or did you have any concerns at first?
At first, we had a lot of concerns because there's a lot of misconception about the Middle East. Like we don't know much about them. Like here in Brazil, we're very far from them, and there's a lot of misconception. So there were a lot of concerns, but once we got there, we saw that I think it's the best tournament that there is, like structure wise, like the hotel, like the food, like everything. It's very good. So yeah, it was a very good tournament. Like not the result for us, but like the structure and everything, very good.
I had the same feeling as you, because obviously I know that I only got that event because other people turned it down, and it was an opportunity that myself and Whippet, who I work with, couldn't turn down. So I was like, right, this is going to be curious. But the minute that you got to the hotel, it was like, wow, this is
another level.
Another level. You know, you had a rooftop pool. As you said, the food was great. The hospitality was great. I think anybody that you would have met out there, whether it's your player manager, you know, the talent manager, they were all really enthusiastic about the whole gig. And I think the venue itself, at that time, because obviously they changed the venue this year, so what was the venue last year became like the Players Hub this year. What did you make of the main stage, and what did you make of, you know, the way the event was run for the first one?
It was just very good. Like they had a whole boulevard, like with other stuff, like roller coasters and cart and like food court and everything, and the venue itself was very beautiful. Like it's not that big, like maybe 200 people like occupied that, but like it was very beautiful and nice to play. Yeah.
I think then I got to cast you on the second last game of the whole tournament, on the show match, which was the first of what's become a pretty familiar rivalry for you personally over the last couple of months in Geeky. You got to play them in the show match. Speaking about, you know, them and their improvement, do you think that first Gamers 8 had a big say in the fact that MENA has developed into a region of itself, and that region has improved so much?
I think so. I think it's fair to say that, because MENA was a big surprise for everyone. Like they are playing really good Siege. Like you can't deny that. And like till last year, no one knew them. So Falcons proved themselves like in the last year's Gamers Age, and showed like who MENA was. Like they were in the map, and so yeah, I think that was the starting point for them.
Yeah. So let's move forward then. So obviously that event didn't go the way that you guys would have wanted it to, right? I think it was an interesting event for a few teams. You guys didn't have the best event. I think Damwon had what was by their standards a poor event at the time as well. So that led to a little bit of downtime for you guys. You went back to Brazil, you competed a little bit, and this is when the W7M train started to go, right? You know, that going into the end of that last year before you joined, people were like, W7M are the best team in the world right now. They're an unstoppable force. Nobody can beat them. When the opportunity came up for you to join W7M, was it a no-brainer? Like, was it as simple as, I have to go and play for this team, even though you were replacing two very good players in, obviously, Julio, who had retired and he's now a coach, and obviously Volp's making his way to Liquid?
Yeah, so in the when we lost the qualifier of the sixth invitational as a MiBR, I knew that I wanted to seek new opportunities, like to go to other teams. So I just asked to leave because my contract was going to end after the sixth invitation, and we were not playing it. So in December, I asked to leave and to find new opportunities. And then I had a few offers. I was going to say, but I can't say.
Yeah, of
But I had a
course.
few offers. But then Igor, we called him as Igão. He talked to me and showed him what he wanted to do with W7M for 2023. And then I found it really good. Like I didn't care about money or anything. I just found the team really good. Like I already did found the team really good. And then what he showed me, the project was just perfect. And then I just said to him, like, I just want to play with you guys.
And did you go straight in? Like, did you go in straight in with a plan to be the IGL for the team, or was there a different thing in your mind when you joined?
No, when I joined, like I said, hers was the IGL. Like we knew that maybe I could become the IGL, but like at first was impossible because I was playing with the same team for three years, so it was already a challenge for me to play with new guys and like a new strats and new way of thinking Siege. So I had to have like at least a month for me to settle in, and then I became the IGL and everything happened.
Yeah. So this is the fun part, right? So you join, Nate joins, and everyone's like, right, what is W7M going to look like now? Like there was question marks because obviously Julio had gone. People were like, are they going to be worse now that Volp's left? Because some people were saying, Volp's going to Liquid was a great move for them. And then I think you get into the mix of things, right? And your first BR stage was, I would say, hit and miss. You played some very good games and some games which were maybe below par. And I think that actually did you guys a lot of good, right? Because you went into the first major of the year. You went to Copenhagen. I think some people thought because of the fact that the first stage didn't go as well as you might have expected, they were like, did it take some pressure going off, or do you think you needed to lose some games to actually find what you needed to improve?
I think it was very good for us to lose 2-3 games. I think we lost in the first stage because a new team has to lose. Like you are going to lose at some point, so it's good to lose early and already know the struggling points and like what you have to do better. And it was good too because we went to the major as not as underdogs, but like not as favorites too.
Yeah.
So no one was expecting much from us, and it was very good to take the pressure of us. And yeah,
it's a fun one, right? Because Whippet and we casted stage 1 for Brazil. We got the opportunity to really get involved in the region. I got to speak to some of the Liquid players. I got to speak to Cameraman, and we went into that first major thinking, right, W7M probably can win this major. We were like, realistically, we had Liquid and W7M as the two favorites for Whippet and alongside G2. What was it like on that final day when you walked up onto the main stage and you looked across the side and you saw one of the players that you replaced in Volps was over there? You saw all of Team Liquid. You had Palu and Nesk, who are royalty inside of Brazil. Was there any nerves at all as you sat down to your keyboard, or was it just focus?
Man, to be completely honest with you, I was so focused like on that 3 days of the finals, like just living the moment that I was not even thinking about the other team. Like I was just completely sure that we were going to win, like that we were in our best shape and we were playing like perfect Siege, and I was just sure that we were going to win.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even think about it.
And when you won, right, and it was a dominant win as well. Like it was, nobody expected the results to be as one-sided as it was on the day, apart from obviously you guys, because you're going to believe that you should win every game that way. What did it feel like the minute that final round ended and you knew that you were a major champion, and not only that, an IGL for W7M becoming a major champion?
Yeah, it was just amazing. I was not nervous at the game at all, but like I started becoming nervous in the last round. because I knew we were going to win, and then I was like, oh my god, we're going to win! Like I'm winning the major. Like it was just unbelievable, and winning the major as an IGL too. Like there's a lot of responsibility being an IGL, like in the game, a lot of pressure. But when you win, you know that you did your job right. So it's very good. It's an honor to be an IGL and like winning back-to-back majors. Just amazing.
So the event ends, and you guys go back to Brazil. You celebrate, you know, but you get your mind back into focus. You're going, job's not done. You know, we've got a lot more to give. How did you stop yourselves from getting complacent? Because it would have been very easy for complacency to creep in after winning a major.
Yeah, I think we got a little complacent after the major, after winning the major. We took a month off after the major, like was a really long time, but it was kind of needed because not me and Nate, but the rest of the team was like going like since January, like nonstop, like because of the invitation, and then we changed the team, like we were playing nonstop, so we had to have a time off, and then we took a month off for Gamers Age, and then we just practiced for 2 weeks for Gamers Age. So and we were kind of we are the best team in the world, like we don't need to practice that much, and it's only a 4-day tournament in the in Gamers Age, so I think we got a little complacent there, and it was good to lose Gamers Age to put our feet on the ground and like practice more, like because when you win, like you have to practice the double of what you did in the last tournament.
So what you're kind of saying is the losses that you took in stage 1 set you up for success in Copenhagen, and you feel like the lack of success you had at Gamers 8 propelled you on to go ahead and win in Charlotte.
Yeah. And now I think we don't have to lose to do that in Invitational. Like we already learned.
And this is the thing, right? So we're finally talking about the Invitational. It's in Brazil, right? We know from just being in esports that this venue is going to be wild because Brazilian fans do it like nobody else. We saw it in CSGO. You know, you look back to was it the quarterfinal where Liquid were playing, was it Liquid G2? And the audience was just nuts. Like you couldn't hear yourself think even when you were watching the broadcast. Does that add more pressure with the Invitational being in Brazil, or does it excite you even more?
I think it just excites us more. Like I was talking about Invitational with some other Brazilian players, like from other teams, like that are my friends, like Psycho and other friends, and we were just saying like it's going to be the biggest tournament of our lives, like because it's the Invitational, it's in Brazil. Like it's just going to be amazing. Like I don't even know what to expect. Like,
and here's one. So you've played all around the world, right? You've played in America, you've played in the Middle East. You know, I think BR, of course, is a LAN. Is this going to be the first time that a lot of maybe friends and family will get the opportunity to see you play live in person, or have you gotten over that hill already?
No, yeah, it's going to be the first time that my friends and family are going to be able to watch me like in person.
And does that make you nervous, or does that get you excited?
I think that makes me kind of nervous. Yeah. Maybe like seeing my family, like when I walk on the stage and see my friends. Maybe that might distract me a little. Yeah. I don't know.
I've never had the opportunity to cast in front of like a large live crowd before myself, and I know that if my friends and family are there, it would definitely add a bit of pressure onto me. But this is the thing; it's coming up, and with the Invitational being in Brazil, with the fans being there, and with the fact that there is the opportunity for W7M to achieve greatness, does it feel good right now? Like, are you riding the crest of a wave? Do you feel like the Dynasty word is one that shouldn't be said yet, or is it something that you guys want to make?
I think I can't say the word Dynasty. I think it jinx.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
But hopefully we will win the 6th Invitational, and then we can call it a Dynasty. Yeah. And it's just we want it so much. Like we're going to practice even more that we had. Like we are very ambitious. Like we don't want to stop here, and hopefully we're going to win it.
Yeah, and This is the thing, right? It's all set up for Brazil's success. Again, I don't want to jinx it. Again, I'm going to be biased here. I actually love the Brazil region because it was the first tier 1 region I got to cast. So I feel like I love the players, I love the teams, I love the passion and the energy. Is there an element too where you think all the Brazilian teams will play a lot better because they want it so much? Like, do you think that we're going to see a stronger version of Liquid? Do you think we'll see a stronger version of the likes of NIP and FaZe?
I think so. Liquid, for example, Liquid is a team that plays really good with the support of the crowd. Like here in Brazil, like they dominated the BR6 finals like every year when they had the support of the crowd, and they have such a big fan base behind them. So I think they are a team that's going to grow a lot in the tournament, and all of Brazilian teams, like I think it's going to help them. But there's something that like in other even in Rainbow Six actually, Brazil never won a tournament here in esports, like in Brazil.
Yeah.
So we have to break that curse.
Why do you think Brazil is so good in Siege at the minute? Like when you look at all the regions, I think Brazil's the most consistent one right now between you guys, between Liquid, FaZe making finals. Why is Brazil at the very top? Like, is there like a real competitiveness, or is the practice really good between teams? Is it just something you guys have worked out something in the game that other teams quite haven't yet? Again, me and Whippet had a big conversation about how Brazil uses Monty more aggressively than everybody else. It's why the ban rate was so high inside of BR. Like, what is it about Brazil that makes it so good right now?
I think it comes from a long way. Like after the 2020 season that we had the pandemic, we had all regions like playing with themselves. Like we didn't have a international experience. So I think in that year, Brazil took a step ahead of the other regions because we developed more in that meta at the time. And then after that, we built a very strong scene, like a tier 2 scene and tier 3. Like we had a lot of teams like FPL all day. Like so we have a very good scene as a whole, and I think that's the reason of the success of the region right now.
Yeah. Well, look, all I can say is I can't wait to see the Invitational, and I do want to wish you guys the best of luck for that. So,
thank you.
Moving away from the Invitational, moving away from competitions, I want to know what it's actually like being part of W7M, because obviously every single org has its own feeling. If you're with G2, there's a really large amount of pressure of being with G2. You're going to always be compared to that team that came over. Liquid and FaZe, there's a pressure with those organizations as well. What are W7M like to be a part of, and how good have they been at just being focused around the players? Because it can be very easy to forget sometimes that players are people.
Yeah, so W7M, it's not a big organization like G2, for example, but the support they give us, like, it's just amazing. Like when I first joined the team, I didn't know much about the organization, like how their work was, and having experience from other organizations, I can say that it's the best I've ever been on, because they just do everything they can for us, like what we ask and everything. Like they just do for us and just want us to perform at the highest level. So it's just very good to be a part of W7M.
Yeah, and it must be nice putting on that jersey every day too, and seeing the crest in the middle to remind you that you're a major champion. So
we have to put another one here somewhere.
Yeah, just get the stars. You know the way you see in football teams, they put the stars above the crest. So
yeah,
obviously today as well was a pretty big day for you, because the Brazilian Siege Awards were run by Ubisoft, and for anyone who doesn't know, you won the award for the best IGL in Brazil. On a personal level, how good does it feel to be recognized individually as well as being part of the team?
It's just an honor to just being able to compete in the best IGL award. Like it's an honor. It's my first year as an IGL, so it's amazing to compete in that category, and then to win it, it's just amazing. Like I really think I did a really good job this year as an IGL. Being my first year as an IGL, like my first ever game as an IGL was in the major, so it was a lot of responsibility. And I think I did really good. Like I dedicated the game like I never did before in this year. Like I watched, I don't know, 1,000 hours of VOD. I just watched a lot of Siege and did a lot of strats, and I don't know. I put a lot of work to this, so it's an honor to win it.
Yeah, well, congratulations on getting that award too, because I think as good as it is getting awards for a team, and as a player you want the team awards because that means you're winning trophies, but to get recognition from your peers as well as an IGL, I'm sure that means a lot to you. So congratulations again on
Thank
that
you.
one. And so I want to talk more about you. I want to get to know you a bit more as a player. So outside of Siege, right? So I know that the few times you and I have spoken, you know, you've always spoken about spending time with your family, enjoying your holidays. When you're not competing, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies?
Yeah, like I said, I come from a really small town here in Brazil, so I have my life there, like friends and family, and like places I like to enjoy there. So when I have time off Siege, I just go to my hometown. Like I leave São Paulo and go to my hometown and just like don't open Siege, don't play the PC at all, and just live life there. Spend time with my friends, and I like to play tennis as well. So I play tennis there in my spare time, and yeah, that's it.
So this is the thing: you're from a small town, and in small towns, news travels fast, right? You know that as well as I do, because I'm from a small little village as well. Do the people in the small town know that they have a 2-time major esports champion from that area? Like, are your parents going around telling everybody, or is it nice to go home and just have people not know that type of thing?
Yeah, you live in a small town, so you know everyone knows everything about everyone. Like in Brazil, I think it's more than other countries, because in Brazil, like there's a lot of gossip and everyone wants to talk about everyone's life. So in my town, everyone knows. Almost everyone knows about that.
Yeah.
Because someone told to someone, and then almost everyone knows. And it's very, very nice, like to have that recognition, like from my friends and friends of my family. Yeah.
Well, again, you're from a small town, and the thing about it is, you're going to be a role model. Like, I'm sure that there's young kids from where you're from who are going to look to you as an example. You know, they want to get into esports. They want to replicate what you were able to do. Have you had many younger fans or younger players reaching out to you, looking for advice, looking for tips? Like, do people come to you for that type of thing?
Yeah, it happened 2 times, I think. A friend, the son of a friend of my family, of my parents, like he's 13 years old, and he reached me, and like it's just very nice to be able to inspire people. Like I said, in 2016 I was inspired by Fallen's team, like Luminosity and SK, and to be able to be that guy, like to inspire other people, to inspire kids, it's just very nice. Like he said he wanted to be a professional, it's his dream, and like I gave him some tips, and it's just amazing.
And did you look up to any Siege players when you were coming through? Because obviously you were very young at the start too. Like, did you go, oh wow, I'd love to be able to do what Pengu does, or oh wow, I'd love to be like Nesk or Palu? Like, were there any players inside of Siege who inspired you?
Yeah, looking at the Brazilian scene, Nesk, of course, like he was the first to go internationally and like destroy everyone, winning the Pro League. So Nesk was an inspiration for everyone. But like looking internationally, I think Pengu, because he just played the game like so well. Like he knew what to do with every operator. So he was a role model, I think, for everyone that wanted to play good Siege.
And is there any players now that are playing that you see a lot of potential in globally? So we'll not ask about Brazil, because I think it puts a bit of pressure on you to talk, you know, really good about players on other teams in your region. But outside of Brazil, are there any IGLs that really impress you at the minute, or are there any players that are coming through that you've played against and you're like, you know, this person has got a really big future?
I think I can say Ashin from SSG. I think he's the IGL of SSG. And he just have a lot of energy, and like coming the first tournament for him, like in the first major tournament for him, and playing how good as he has. I think he has a lot of future. And I'll say Noodle as well. He's not IGL, but like, as a player, like I didn't know him, and like he's just playing like very good, very aggressive, and like finding gaps. So I think those two.
Yeah. Well, look, you know Noodle pretty well now. You got to play him 3 times in the last major.
Yeah.
With that, right? What was it like? Because I know I've heard from Fresh and a few other people. You scrimmed against GK because you thought you weren't going to play them again. What was it like when that draw came up then? Were you like, oh no? Or was it like, you know, we've scrimmed against them, we don't like, what was the feeling when you saw that draw after thinking you wouldn't play them again?
It was like didn't affect us that much because we scrimmed only 2 maps, and like we knew we weren't going to play those 2 maps, so it didn't affect us at all. But it surprised us a little bit because we didn't think we could get them. Otherwise, we wouldn't scream them. So, yeah.
It was one of the few games you lost. You know, one of the games you lost at the major was against them the first time. So, I want to ask, was it the case that Leader came in as the IGL, hadn't played with the team during the stage, was a substitute? Like, was there a case of you didn't know what to expect because they had somebody new calling shots? Like, did that have something to do with the first loss, or was it more you guys hadn't warmed up to the tournament yet?
Yeah, in the first game, I think that was the case because we didn't. We had a lot of VODs from them, but they were playing different from what they were playing in the MENA region, and I think in the first game we kind of underestimated them a little bit too. Like we didn't know. Like we didn't think they could play like as well as they did. Like I think we underestimated them, and then when we started to lose, I think we lost a little of the mental of the game.
Yeah, well, again, I think it could have been a case where the loss was a good thing because it spurred you guys on to go win the whole event. I want to talk about what it's like IGLing a team like W7M, right? So you look at the team. Herds is nuts. KZ is one of the most crazy players in all of Siege. Like, I remember casting you guys twice in stage 1 and being like, KZ is involved in opening gunfights so often, and it's usually within the first, like, there's no messing around. It's like within the first 20 seconds, 30 seconds of a round, KZ's either gotten a kill or 2 or been taken down himself. When you're IGLing a team where there is so much physical talent, like, you know these guys can win 1vx's for fun, does that add pressure to you? Like, do you feel like sometimes you need to say, guys, slow down, or does it make your job even easier that you know you can say, right, KZ, I need you to push through here, and you know for a fact that he'll win that fight 9 times out of 10?
I think it's a little bit of both because a lot of times they make my job easier. Like I'm just calling a strat and then it's a 5v3 out of nowhere. So it's they do make my job easier. But sometimes I have to say that, like, hey, calm down, guys, and like they can't calm down sometimes. Like they're playing just so aggressive. So I think it's a little bit of both. But they make my job easier most of the times.
And as the IGL, you not only have to have a really good relationship with your teammates, but you also have to have a really good relationship with your coach and your analysts. So with the new season coming out, you know, we've got the new operator coming out that's going to, looks like it could have a really big impact. It's another very strong defender. There's a trend here where every single defender that comes in seems to make a massive change to, you know, some of the strats that teams are running. How closely do you need to work with your coach, and how closely do you two work together when you're coming up with the ideas of these attacks and these defenses with the new operators?
In my way of thinking, the IGL needs to be like 100% close to the coach, like thinking the same way, and like as the second caller as well. Like Herds is the second caller, is the shot caller. So I think we have to be on the same page, like every day, and with the analysts as well. And I think that's what I think that's what takes us apart from other teams, like what differentiates us from other teams, because we all four, like Abreu is the analyst, Igor the coach, me, IGL, and her is the shot caller. We are always talking about the game, talking about strats, and thinking about the game, and we are always on the same page. So I think that's what makes us the best.
And without talking about your ideas on how the new operator is going to work, are you excited for what the next stage looks like? Are you excited for how Siege looks in early 2024?
I didn't look so much about the new operator or new operator and stuff, but I think it's going to be a little overpowered for what from what I've seen. So I'm not too. I think it's not going to be too good because now the nade nerf too. Like I think the defense is going to be really strong. I'm not I have not played it yet, but I think it's going to be really strong. So let's see.
It's the thing, right? When you look at the way a lot of attacks were, you speak about the nade nerf. So many teams have strats that involve getting into the ground floor, getting below, getting that intel and getting nades safely. Because that's the big thing about what nades were like. You could get a kill for free because you're not putting yourself at risk and you're able to get it from below. So that's been removed. I'm curious as a caster in particular to see how that's going to impact things. But
yeah.
I want to ask you a little bit more about the team now. So obviously everyone wants to get to know W7M. Like, I know that I'm probably not the only person who's reached out to you to talk to you. I think there's a lot of people in Europe who love watching you play, but they only know you guys as a team. They only know KZ's incredible on entry. Herds is really good when it comes to that too. I want to know more about the team. So is there anyone out there who stands out as like a joker? Like, is there a big joker on the team? Is there somebody who keeps the vibes up all the time?
JV9 true, of course. Yeah. He's just a joker like every day. Like he's not playing someone, like he's like that all the time. Like I don't know how he can do that. Like he has so much energy. Like all day, like he's joking, he's doing stuff, and like in the tournaments, like he doesn't even know how to speak English, but he's talking to everyone like in English. I don't know how. He's just so extroverted, and yeah. JV92 is the Joker.
And is there a serious one? Like, is there anyone on the team that's business? We gotta win. We gotta practice.
I think me when we are talking about serious stuff, I become very serious because I have to. But the most serious I think all time like is KZ. Like he's very serious. Like yeah.
And I suppose there's pros and cons to everything. Like, sometimes it's really good to be serious all the time. Sometimes it's not. So do you guys live in a team house? Like, are you guys all living together at the moment? And if so, I'm guessing, how much of the time do you guys spend not practicing? Like, do you guys hang out when you're not gaming? Like, do you go do things together? Like, is it a case where you're really good friends and teammates?
Yeah, we live in a team house, and every week, like when we're practicing, when you're not having tournaments, in the weekends we go to parties, like here in São Paulo, and sometimes we go to the cinema, to the movies, and sometimes we just go out and eat something, like to a restaurant, to a good restaurant. So we are always doing stuff like with the team, and we are very good friends, and I think that's something very important for the teams. Like I see some teams that they are not very connected with each other. Like they don't like to be with each other. Like after the practice and stuff. So I think it's very good for us to have that connection.
Yeah, and it's it builds trust as well. If you're friends with a person in real life, it's easier to approach and talk about things.
Yeah.
With you guys all living in the house together as well, when you joined the team. So sometimes when people join a new team or when they join a new job, they're made to do like a forfeit, or there's like a bit of hazing. Or did you have to do anything when you joined the team? Like, did the team make you do like sing, or was there anything like that?
When me and Nate joined the team, we had to pay a dinner for everyone.
Yeah.
Like we go out for a dinner at a very nice restaurant, very expensive restaurant, and they made us pay for everyone.
You know what? Considering you've won 2 majors and you've been to Gamers 8 twice, I think it was worth it. It was a worthwhile investment.
Yeah, it was worth it.
So before we finish up, because I'm very conscious I've taken up a lot of your time today, what are the goals for you personally for 2024? So I don't want to know, like, obviously every player is going to say, I want to win 6 Invitational, I want to win BR, I want to win every tournament. Outside of just winning events, what are your personal goals for next year?
I think right now I'm not thinking too much about 2024. Like my mind is only on 6 Invitational, and after that I don't know. We will see. But right now I'm 100% focused on Six Invitational 2024. Like I said other times in the interview, like we have very high ambition. Like we don't want to stop here. So we were going to do everything we can to win Six Invitational. And if someone else win, they have to play a really good Siege to win against us, because we are going to be there and we are going to be playing very well.
And is there any advice that you would give to any young players that want, that are watching this video, that want to get into competitive Siege, that want to, follow your footsteps? What advice would you give?
The advice I would give is play the game, like play every day, play with your friends, and just keep evolving. And watch VODs. That's very important. A lot of people don't do that, but it's really, really important to understand how the game is played, how other people understand the game, and to put that in your game, like not copy, but like to develop your game and have inspiration of other players. I think that's really important. And yeah, if you really want to become a professional player, like dedicate a lot to do that.
And then the last question that I want to ask you, and it's more around the interview. If the Siege World Cup was a thing again, right? So if they bring it back and there was going to be a Team Brazil, and you had to pick the team, so you could pick one player from every team. So you can't just say,
I'm in the team.
Yeah, you're on the team, and you had to pick a team of players to join you for Brazil. Who would you have, and on what roles would you put them on?
I would have my whole team with me.
Yeah,
W7M.
Right. I'll take pressure off.
I can't have another answer, man. We just won back-to-back majors.
If you couldn't take a W7M teammate, so teams outside of W7M, who would you pick?
Okay, let me think. I would pick as a support Lagones from Team Liquid. And he would do the IGL, not me. I would be the shot caller. I would pick as entry one Lobing, Lobex from Lost. I would pick Lobin and Volps for entry two. So Lobin, Volps, me. Lagones as support, and I'm missing the second support. Let me think. I can't pick JV92.
No.
So let me think. I would pick Miracle from Team Secret. Yeah. He's very good, and he's a second support. And yeah, that would be my team.
That's scary. That's a scary team too when you think about it. And you think about the names that you didn't even put in there. People like Maya, people like obviously Palu,
I thought about him.
Like Palu and Ness. Like it's scary how good and how much talent there is. So to wrap things up, first off, I want to say a massive thank you again for taking the time to do this. I know that we've been trying to do this for a while, and you've been busy, you've been celebrating, you've had holidays. I want to just ask you if you've got anything that you want to say to W7M fans, or even just fans of you, Felipe, in general, before we wrap up.
I just want to thank everyone that's been supporting me for like since I've been posting videos on YouTube and I was under 18 and playing this game. Like there's a lot of people that support me from that time, and thanks to everyone that supports W7M and don't speak Portuguese. I know that sometimes we don't talk to you because we are only speaking Portuguese, but I would like to thank you guys very much for the support, and that's it.
Well, look, thank you so much. Best of luck in the upcoming Six Invitational. Congratulations again on all of the success you've had so far. And I think we both agree your story is nowhere near written yet. There's a lot more to come from you and this W7M roster. So thanks very much for your time. And
thank you.
Best of luck in February.